Hello everyone, welcome back. The subject which I'm covering today is hotel law and the topic is industrial law, one of the very main and prominent act of the country. The objective of this law was to basically to put an end to unfair labor practices and provide for the rights, privilege, obligation and responsibility of the workforce. The content which we are going to see is about basic definitions of few terms legally, and we will see the Payment of Wages Act which came in 1936. According to industrial law, adult can be defined as a person who has completed 18 years of age. Adolescent means a person who has completed his 15th year of age but has not completed 18 year of age. A calendar year is said to be the beginning of the first day in January of any year. A child is a person who has not completed 15 years of age. Competent person can be said as a person or an institution recognized by the chief inspector for the purpose of carrying out a test, examination and inspections required to be done in a factory under the provision. Their qualification and experience of the person and facilities are at the disposable. The qualification and experience of the person employed in such institution and facility available there with regard to conduct of such test, examination and inspection, more than one person or institution can be recognized as a competent person in relation to a factory. The next definition is a hazarded process. Basically, hazarded process can be said as which is dangerous, which relates to fire, raw material where used therein, or intermediate or finished products, waste, or byproduct of effluent of others. They can cause material impairment to the health of the person engaged in or connected with it. They can result in the pollution or general environment. However, the state government may, by the notification in the official gazette, amend the first schedule by way of addition, omission, or variation of any industry specified in such schedule. Next, young person who is either a child nor an adolescent. Day means a period of 24 hours beginning at midnight. Week means a period of 7 days beginning at midnight on Saturday night or such other nights as may be approved in writing for a particular area by the chief inspector of the factories. Prime mover means any engine or motor or other appliance which generates or otherwise provides power. Transmission machinery means any shaft, wheel drum, pulley system, coupling, clutch, driving belt or other appliance or device which by motion of prime mover is transmitted or received by any machinery or appliance, like we have a luggage trolley in the hotels, we have service lift in the hotel, we have breakfast trolley in the hotel. This is all transmission machinery. Machinery can include prime movers, transmission machinery, or whereby the power is generated, like we have huge generators in the hotels, they comes under machinery. Now let us see what are the working hours of adult. They come under section 51 to 66. Working hours basically will be covering weekly hours, weekly holidays, compensatory holidays, daily hours, intervals for the rest, spread over, night shifts, prohibition of overlapping shifts. Then we have extra wages for overtime, restriction on double employment, notice of period of work for adults, register of adult workers, restriction on the employment of women. Now we will see what is the Payment of Wages Act. It's one of the most important act which came into force on 1936 and was passed to regulate the payment of wages to certain class or person employed in the industry. It is essentially meant for the benefit of industrial employees not getting a very high wages, and the provision of the act were enacted to safeguard their interests. It also provides against irregularities in the payment of wages and unauthorized deduction therefore for the employees. The key elements of Payment of Wages Act was extended to whole of India including J&K. It shall come into force on such date as a central government by notification in official gazette. That means it is controlled by the central government. It applies to the first instance to the person employed in any factory or to the person employed other than in a factory. Appropriate government may, after giving 3 months notice of its intention, also doing by notification in the official gazette, extends the provision of this act or any of them to the payment of wages to any class of person employed in an establishment. This act applies to the wages of payable to employed person in respect to wages period if such wages for that wage period do not exceed 6,500 rupees. That means the person who are getting salary up to 6,500, this act is mainly for those people. Now let us see certain definition under the Payment of Wages Act. Like appropriate government means basically in relation to railways, air transport service, mines, oil fields and transport government, and in relation to all other cases. Then appropriate government will also, state government is also considered as appropriate government. Employed person includes the legal representative of the deceased employer includes the legal representative of the deceased employer. Factory basically means defined in Section 2M of Factories Act 1948. Includes any place which the provision of Factories Act of 1948 has been applied under Section 85 of that Act. Industrial or other establishment, wages means all remuneration by way of salary, allowance, otherwise expressed in the terms of money or capable of being so expressed, which would, if the term of employment expressed or implied were fulfilled, be payable to a person employed in respect to his employment or work done in such employment. There are certain rules in the payment of wages, like responsibility of payment of wages, fixation of wage period, time of payment of wages, wages to be paid before 7th or 10th day of the following wage period, medium of wages, wages to be paid in bank transfer, check or currency notes. What are the few deduction from wages can happen? Like the meaning of the deduction is notwithstanding the provision in the Railway Act of 1989, the wages of employed person to the employer or his agent shall, for the purpose of this act, to be deemed to be deduction from wages. Any loss of wages resulting from the imposition for good and sufficient cause upon a person employed for the following penalties. The withholding of increment or promotion, including the stoppage of increment at efficiency bar, the deduction to a lower post or time scale or to lower stage in a time scale. The third one is suspension. Now let us see how much amount can be deducted from the wages. The section 7.3 provides a notwithstanding any contained in this act, total amount of deduction which may be made under subsection 2 in any wage period from the wages of employed person. It shall not exceed in case where such deductions are wholly or partly made for the payment to cooperative society under clause J of subsection 2, 75% of such wages. In any other cases, 50% of wages, provided that where the total deduction authorized under subsection exceeds 75% or the case may be, and 50% of the other wages. The excess may be recovered in such manner as may be prescribed. There are different kinds of deduction under section 2, which is defined, that are fines. If any kind of fine is applicable, that will be deducted. Deduction from the absence of duty, if somebody is on leave, it will be deducted. Deduction for any kind of damage or loss has been done. Deduction for HRA, that is a house accommodation. Deduction for amenities and services will be done. Deduction for recovery of advance will be done. Deduction for recovery of loans or made from any of the fund will be done. Deduction for recovery of loans, any other sources you have taken. Deduction for income tax has to be done. Deduction required to be made by the order of court. Deduction for provident fund. Deduction for payment to cooperative society has to be done. Deduction with the consent of the employed person has to be done. Deduction for the welfare fund has to be done. The deduction for trade union membership fees has to be done. Deduction for fidelity guarantee bonds has to be done. Deduction for the loss caused by to failure of proper collection of charges has to be done. Deduction for recovery of loss due to incorrect funds. Deduction for the Prime Minister Relief Fund has to be done. Like during COVID times also, we have given money to the PM's Care Fund. Deduction for any contribution or any insurance scheme has to be done. The most important again things are the maintenance of the registers and record, and which covers under the section 13A, that is the particularity of the person employed of the company that has to be maintained, the what designation they are holding and what work performance they are doing, that has to be maintained. How many wages is going to be paid to them has to be maintained. What all deduction is there, that has to be mentioned. What receipt has been given, that receipt number has to be mentioned. Any other such particular has to be mentioned in the prescribed register. So we can conclude saying that generally it is asserted that the globalization will undermine the national industrial relationship system, erode the production won by the workers over many decades, increase the conflict and instability, and reduce the overall welfare of the poor and oppressed in the society. This presentation has been made with the help of Hotel Law book, which is authored by Amitabh Devendra, and it's an Oxford publication. Please attempt the quiz by clicking the link given in the description box. Be safe and have a great learning.